Hello, welcome. It's Digital DJ Tips. That means it is Thursday, and that means it is our Thursday Q&A live. When we help you with your DJing questions, your queries, your challenges, whatever it is that you're stuck on in your DJing, I'm here to help you live from the Digital DJ Tips studio. We are Digital DJ Tips, the world's leading online DJ school, the people behind Rock the Dance Floor, the best-selling book on Amazon on how to DJ, and we are here to help you for the next hour. Now, I'd like to open up today in the same way that I unfortunately feel I'll be opening up for the foreseeable future, in just pointing out that our thoughts and prayers today are with all of those affected by the war in Ukraine. Us DJs and musicians all love music because it connects us and it gives us shared joy, and what we're seeing here is the complete opposite of that. I'm sure I'm speaking for all of us when I say we simply want this to stop. So it's question time, people. We are here to help, and whatever you've got problems with in your DJing, whatever you're stuck with, whatever is causing you issues, do ask away. I'm here for hopefully the next hour in order to help you. And you can do that on Facebook, you can do that on YouTube, wherever you're watching this is cool. We are on all our channels, we're across our groups and our pages and so on. So I'm waiting here for your questions to pop in. Now, we've just recently updated the software that we use to do this, because last time we were live, we were getting like more than one question coming in from everyone, like their questions have come in 2 or 3 times. At the moment, it seems like they're not coming in at all, but hopefully that's going to fix itself in the next 2 minutes, or we're going to have a very, very short show today. Normally there's no way I can answer every question in the time we've got, so I'm sure that'll fix itself. And indeed, as we speak, we are going. So hello to Paul, hello to Jermaine and Roughneck, and to Kevin, who says hi all. Hello to Salvation John and Bass, good to see you, my friend. Yeah, so we're up and running on YouTube at least, and hopefully the Facebook questions will begin to come through soon as well. We can see them all here live. Hello to Ivan, who says hello, hope all are safe and well. Papa D over there in Miami. Hello to you, Digital DJ Tips crew, minding the comments. Good to have you here, my team. Hello to Java Man, to Terence, and to Craig. So listen, if you want to ask a question, one thing I would recommend you do is use the hashtag ask, hashtag ASK. And thanks to Ivan, who I just said hello to, we've got this set of rules for these live shows, which are very simple. The rules are: ask with this hashtag, and please only ask once. If you cut and paste your question and I see any evidence of that, my team will bar you from asking questions, and I won't answer them, because it's a little bit rude to cut and paste your question over and over again. It just clogs up our queue for everyone else. So please just ask once, and we'll try our very, very hardest to answer you, but please just be aware we can't get to everyone. I do have to tell you though, of course, if you are a Digital DJ Tips student, you get to join our private Facebook group. It's called Student Hub, and in Student Hub we go live regularly, and you will get your questions answered there, because it's one of those times where we make sure everyone gets the help they need. So if you're a Digital DJ Tips student, go to Student Hub. You will have an email about it from us, and you can ask questions in there as well. Right, so it's time for us to get going with your questions. Your questions today can be about anything you want, by the way, just so that you know we don't have any kind of like rules about what you ask about. So this is what we're talking about over on the website at the moment. We're talking about music production. We've got this whole new post on the website about mixers. If you're setting up a little home studio, what would you use? What mixer do you need? We talk you through all the options there. So maybe you've got questions about setting up a little home studio. We can certainly help you with that. Also this week on the website, we've been talking about music theory. As you can tell, we've got a kind of production slant on the website at the moment. We've been talking about how you can get up to speed with all the music stuff that if you're not a musician might be hard for you to get your head around. Rhythm, timing, notes, key, scale, chords, melodies. If you're stuck on any of that stuff, we've got this big new post which will hopefully bring some light into your darkness and help you to understand how all this works. And trust me, this is written for the beginner. This is written for the person who can't play music, who hasn't had any music lessons. So do go and take a look at that. Maybe you've got questions in that area. The reason that we are doing all this information and all this content around production at the moment is that we just had a very exciting experience in London where we filmed a course with James Hype. A lot of you will know James Hype from his James Hype's DJ course he made with us. We've just made a production course with him, how to make club bangers. And the beauty is that the track that we made that week when we were filming with him has just been signed to a rather large record label run by a rather big DJ. I won't tell you any more, but we're going to show you how to make a true club banger that looks like it's set to become a massive hit, which is all very exciting. So that's why there is a bit of a production slant going on at the moment over on the website. Okay, so we have got some sad news from Sly here, who says, DJs from my father, please play some music for my dad. He passed away this week. He loved music and digital tips. So Sly, we're very sorry to hear that. Our thoughts and prayers are with you, my friend. And we are certainly all passing some thoughts and love on to you and your family right now. Thank you for sharing that with us. This then is your chance to ask questions, people, and I'm hashtagging them all at the moment in my system. So hashtag ask if you want to ask a question. Let's start with this one from Red Dog, who says, does Serato still have that bug that after scanning your good files, some become corrupt? That was the reason I switched to Rekordbox DJ. So I've noticed this in Serato over the years. Every now and then you do get a file that's got the little corrupt sign. It's a little like like a lightning bolt, isn't it, on the icon by the tracks. But funnily enough, they all seem to play all right for me. But yes, I do think every now and then that does happen. But it never caused any issues. It was just like, it didn't matter. Yeah, I don't know for sure, Red Dog, if that still happens, but it never caused an issue for me anyway. So what's the best paid site to get instrumental and acapellas, please, Phil, says Charles. Good question. So the standard place to go for DJ type versions of all the music you love are download pools. So we'd be talking BPM Supreme, DJ City, that kind of place. They tend to have the dub versions, the instrumental versions, sometimes the acapellas, certainly the DJ-friendly versions of songs. You can go to acapella sites, so Voclerit, voclr.it. In fact, let me show you Voclerit. Oh, well, that said, it seems to not be there anymore. Maybe I mistyped it. This is all live, by the way, people. If you ever doubted it, this is all live. Voclerit, voclr.it, is a good place to go and get acapellas from. You have to create an account, but it's free and you get limited free access to acapellas over there. It's one place to go. Acapellas for you, unfortunately, this used to be the main place, is down, and it looks like it's not coming back. So Voclerit is the one I would say go for. But another thing that you ought to be aware of is that nowadays you can go to quite a few sites and get free vocal remover software. So in other words, you can upload your track and it'll send you back the versions of it that have got just the acapella, just the instrumental, and so on. One of the ones that we see mentioned a lot is lalal.ai, LALAL.ai, and you drag your files up here. And it will send you back the acapella and the instrumental as well. And these actually sound quite good, the results you get from these sites. Of course, another place you can do it is DJ software. There's two pieces of DJ software at the moment that will allow you to do this, create your own acapellas. Virtual DJ, which is free. Just go and download it from their website. You can do it for free within that version of the software. Or Algorithm's DJ Pro AI for Apple devices, iOS and for macOS. So lots of ways you can do that, but you know, there is no one-stop shop where you can go and pay and get all acapellas and instrumentals. I wish there were, but it's not quite that easy. Okay, cool, let's go. The next question is from Stevie D, who says, hi Phil, are there any rules in Student Hub? We were talking about our Facebook group Student Hub, because I looked briefly and it said that I can't upload my music mix or write to the Digital DJ Tips staff directly. Okay, well, let's answer both those questions, Stevie. Thank you for asking them. We have something called Feedback Friday in our groups, and that is the place if you want to upload a mix to share with the group and get feedback on. Feedback Friday is the place to do it. Otherwise, the groups just get swamped with people uploading their music, and it becomes not very useful for anything else. And if you want to chat directly to the Digital DJ Tips crew, you can drop a email to info@digitaldjtips.com. Simple, and we'll get back to you. So I hope that's useful for you, Stevie. DJ Tass on the Prime 4. which is the Denon DJ standalone unit. When I'm in 4-channel mode and the screen is in wave left to right mode, not up and down mode, is there a way I can switch the wave from the bottom and move it to the top? No, there isn't. That layout is fixed in the Prime 4, so you are stuck with that the way it is, unfortunately, DJ TAS. People, you can ask your questions in the comments on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch, wherever you are. They all come through to me, so just ask your questions. So YouTube, you don't like my music, says, I think it's bad form to use your forums to promote yourself. It's just against the rules. We have rules that say you can't just post your mixes in our forums for that reason. If we didn't have that rule, it'd be fine, but we have. So you have to use that Feedback Friday slot for that one, but thank you for that. So Mario says, hey Phil, I finally received my Hercules Impulse 500 that I won during the Digital DJ Tips Census this year. Thank you. Oh, I'm really glad about that, Mario. So for those of you that don't know, every year we run a census. We call it the Global DJ Census. We had 21,000 people this year take part in it. I've actually got the results on my desk in front of me at the moment. We're just preparing them to put a big post up on the website to show you how everyone voted. It's stuff like the kind of DJing you do, the kind of music you play, the kind of gear you've got, whether you live stream, whether you produce music, whether you own a PA system, where you are in the world, how much money you make from DJing. Really interesting information. And as part of this annual survey, we get everyone in the industry to give their support by donating products. So we got products from Pioneer and Denon and Newmark and lots of other big names. And the problem at the moment is no one's got any products, so a lot of people are still waiting for their prizes from the brands. They are coming, but it's just the same with anything today. It's taking a bit longer than it used to. So I'm glad you finally got your Impulse 500, and the next census will be all the way forward in December 2022. So if you want to enter, you're going to have to wait till then for the next one, folks. But we will be releasing the results very soon of that census. Questions you can do on the comments underneath the place you're watching this video. They will all come through to me. Lots of you chatting about all kinds of things, about lighting and stuff like that down there at the moment, which is good to see. This is from the Cool Professor, who says, hi Phil, what advice would you give for mixing 80s music and other genres? My advice when it comes to mixing is mix when it makes sense and don't mix when it doesn't. There's so many easy ways of moving from one track to another that don't involve you having to beat mix. And frankly, if you're playing a range of open format type music, especially older music, sometimes beat mixing really isn't necessary and isn't appropriate. And it isn't the best way to mix between those tracks. The important thing is to respect what Laidback Luke and what Jazzy Jeff and what all the DJs we work with call the body clock. And the body clock is respecting that thud, 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 thud. 1, 2, 3, 4 that goes through every track that you play. Whether there's actually a kick drum pumping away or not, that beat, that 1, 2, 3, 4 is going away through every track you play. And as long as you respect that and you mix in a new track on a one beat at the beginning of a section where something's happening, a verse, a chorus, an intro, a breakdown, a drop or whatever, then you are far more likely to kind of get away with that mix than if you just throw it in at any time. You know, even if the old track is just fading out, as long as your internal clock is saying 1, 2, 3, 4 on the fade out, 1, 2, 3, 4, bang, the new track comes in on a one beat. That is pretty much all you need to do. Now look, in this book, which you can get for free by joining Digital DJ Tips, by the way, so if you're watching this and you're not yet a member of Digital DJ Tips, you can do so by going to that URL, digitaldjtips.com/join. You get a free copy of this. You also get a free copy of our gear guide there, which will teach you to there. Looks right, don't know, got my finger in the right place, which will stop you making expensive mistakes when you're buying DJ gear. So it is worth joining Digital DJ Tips. But in the book, we talk about the 5 mixes that every DJ needs to know and that account for about 80% of all the DJ mixes you ever hear. And I think only 2 of them involve beat mixing. Really, it's as simple as that. You don't need to get difficult when it comes to DJing and mixing. And a lot of the time, 80s, jazz, funk, disco, rock, soul, older music, it's not appropriate to do that. Now, there's another way you can read the book, which is certainly worth me pointing out. If you go to the Digital DJ Tips website and click on the book, it'll take you to the exact same book here. Exact same book. You can get the PDF from here as well. It'll take you to the exact same book that I just held up. But you can click through to the chapters without downloading anything. And the beauty about this is that all the videos where I explain to you all the 5 big mixes, the fade, the end-to-end, the cut, the single phrase beat mix, and the bassline swap beat mix, all of these little videos you can just watch in the browser without downloading anything. So if you are brand new to DJing and you just want to see how you can mix anything into anything cleanly and in a way which isn't going to offend your crowds, then go and have a look there, because it really, our job here is to demystify this stuff. It is not as hard as it seems. So the Cool Professor, I would say look at those simpler ways of doing it. Hello, Craig. It's lovely to see you. Craig says, your recent article, this will be the one about speakers, judging by what you've written, has tempted me with the Creative Pebble version 3 speakers. Just wondering, can you say more about them, and how would I connect my audio interface, pre-Sonos i2 laptop and WeGo 4 together? Right, okay. So these little speakers, I'm going to guess, are one of the types of speakers that you, they're kind of like multimedia speakers that you buy for your computer, right? So let's just have a Google. We like to do this live on these shows. Creative Pebble version 3, because I don't know much about this speaker. It's not one that I've ever seen myself, but we'll take one look at it and we'll certainly be able to figure it out together. Here they are. These are the exact speakers which you are speaking about. So I'm opening the photo now, and then I'll share it with you. Here we go. This is the one. So these speakers are designed to go next to your computer and then plug in to your headphones out socket on your computer, and that will give you audio that you can listen to on any desktop and so on. So you're using these as a kind of backup system to your main system, I'm going to guess here. So your question is, just wondering, can you say more about them? Well, they'll sound all right, is what I can say about them. By looking at them, they're going to sound all right. I would say certainly if you're going to buy multimedia speakers like this to DJ with, I'd say buy a 2.1 pair, which is where you get 2 little speakers like this for your desk and a big one to go under the desk. They can sound really, really good. And they can be quite practical for really small spaces. I don't know this brand. I don't know if they do a version like that. I don't even know if these come with a subwoofer, but that's what I'd look for. But then your next question is, how do I connect it to my audio interface and to my DJ setup? So you don't need to necessarily connect anything to an audio interface, because your DJ controller has already got an audio interface in it. So just plug them into your DJ controller, job done. If you do want to plug them into an audio interface, you can do that, as long as your interface has got an output that they can plug into. But that means you've got to have your computer turned on at all times, the same computer you're DJing on, in order for it to work. I would keep it simple and just plug my computer directly into my speakers if it were me. But maybe you can give us a bit more information about what you're trying to achieve with this kind of little setup, Craig, and then we can help more. But as far as the speakers go, yeah, they look all right, but I'd certainly, if I was going to buy a multimedia system, you can get these systems for $40, $50, $60, and some of them can sound really, really good, but I would go for the ones that have got the 2 little speakers and the bass bin that you tuck under your desk, because that's going to sound an awful lot better than ones that are just little tiny speakers. So hello to Mixmaster G, always good to have you on my wing there. Good to see you here today. AB says, can we connect Serato with CDJ 3000s and an Allen and Heath Zone 96 mixer? Good question. I'm not sure if Serato works with the CDJs yet. I think it does. So I think you can, but I wouldn't know 100% at the moment, AB. Best place to ask that is on the Serato forum. Or just send a quick support ticket to Serato. They're really good at responding to things like that. Sly, hello, long time. Hello to Henry as well. Aksheet says, where to get your techno and house music from? YouTube downloader is a bad option. It's the only one I know of. Well, you shouldn't be using YouTube downloaders to rip music anyway. The best download pool for house and techno is probably Zip DJ. So, there's a lot of, you pay for it, of course. There's a lot of digital download pools, which are places where you pay a subscription and get unlimited downloaded music every month. But most of them are very, very commercial minded. Hip hop, house, but commercial house and dance, pop and Latin and so on. And so is Zip DJ. But Zip DJ also does well on more underground styles too. So go and have a look at zipdj.com. I'm not sure if they've currently got a currently got a offer on. It looks like they have 35 a month for your first month. So for $35 you could go there, download as much music as you can get your hands on, and see if it's the kind of stuff you like. And if you do, then you've got all these options to sign up. But Zip DJ would be the one that I would say would be a good start for that kind of music. They're probably the best at that. Alternatively, if you don't mind live streaming music streaming services rather than owning the music, you can get the whole Beatport catalog on Beatport Link for, I think their cheapest plan is about $10 a month now. And then you could just buy the ones you really like from there. So that might be another option for you. Thanks for the question there, Aksheet. So Nigel, any advice on mixing 60s music? Same advice I gave earlier. Get the book and look at the very simple techniques that we have in there for mixing any kind of music. Hello Technobeat TV, good to see you. DJ Haydo says, how can we go live with good quality sound and no high cost? Right, good question. Let me talk to you about how to go live with good quality sound and no high cost. If you are DJing with a laptop, if you've got Serato, Tractor, Record Box, whatever, on a laptop, and you're plugged into your DJ controller and you want to go live and you want to get the sound quality right, you are in luck, because there is a cable between your computer and your DJ controller. And that cable is carrying audio as well. Now, you might not know that because you plug your speakers into the audio sockets on the back of your controller, right? So you might not know that that audio is also available to your laptop, but it is. And you can plug that audio into your live stream and have really good quality audio coming directly into your live stream. How do you do it? You need to use a little program to do that. Because normally that audio won't be spotted by your broadcast software. So most people use a piece of software called OBS, which is free, that's why, OBS, in order to live stream. So they'll plug a webcam into their laptop as well, have that pointing at their decks, and then that links up to YouTube or Twitch or wherever you're going live. So that is the way that most people do it, but that won't be able to bring the audio in as it stands from your DJ controller, because it won't see it. It won't be one of the options on the audio inputs. To get that option on your audio input, you need to use what's called virtual audio routing within the computer. And the way to do that is to go and grab a little program. Now, the one that I would recommend you grab, because it's free, is VB Audio's Virtual Cables app. This one here, it's called VB Cable. You can get it for Mac and for Windows. Download this and it will allow you to see the audio input coming from your controller in OBS, and then you can go live that way. Now, you know, there's a lot involved in going live. We all know that you can go live on your phone. We've all done FaceTime calls and stuff like that, and you can go live on Facebook and Twitch and Instagram and stuff on your phone. Just click go live and, you know, just point at something. But of course, for DJing, we do want a slightly better result. So over on Digital DJ Tips, we've got guides to help you with this. So here's how to find them. Just go over to digitaldjtips.com, click on the little magnifying glass in the top corner and type live streaming, and you'll find dozens and dozens of articles to help you live stream here, but the one I want to tell you to scroll down to is the ultimate guide to DJ live streaming in 2022. Go take a look at this article, because in this article is all of our best free advice and training on how to go live on your laptop, on your phone, and other methods as well. All the audio interfaces we use, all the microphones and the cables and the cameras, basically everything that we do when we go live here at Digital DJ Tips. And we'll talk you through exactly the gear that you need. There's me setting up a live stream by our pool, which is something I did regularly for all through lockdown, etc, etc. So go take a look at this article. So just go search live streaming by clicking there at the top. Just a little tip here, whatever your topic, you can search the 5,000 or 6,000 articles that we've published over the years on Digital DJ Tips. So it really is worth using that resource. It's all for free. Ask your questions, please, underneath. We've got another half hour to go. I can never get to them all, but please only ask your question once. Use the hashtag ask, and I will get to as many as I can. My team will get to your questions as well in the week if they can. And if you're watching the replay of this, it's probably because you didn't know we were live. Why? Because you're not getting notifications. So do that clicky like, follow this page, show posts first, subscribe to channel, do all that stuff, so that you get our notifications when we go live, and then you can join us live because it's more fun. Right, so Andy says, hi Phil, I got the Pioneer DJ MS7 mixer. I'm thinking of buying the S11 mixer. I think it may be better and do better mixes, but the S7 is so good, I'm not sure if I should change mixer. To me, unless you want to incorporate 2 extra channels in your DJing, because the S11 is the only scratch mixer out there that lets you DJ with 4 channels, albeit channels 3 and 4 a bit clunky to reach. It's not like a true 4-channel mixer. Then I wouldn't bother, frankly, because the S7 is still a fantastic mixer. It does pretty much, put it this way, I know a lot of DJs who would rather use the S7 than the S11 because the S7 is simpler and it does everything they want. So unless you've got a very, very strong reason to upgrade, it's certainly not going to improve your DJing, I would say, Andy. I'd say stick with what you've got and spend the money on something else. Abraham, thoughts on the DJM V10? I've been using the Zone 92 for years. I'm looking to upgrade. Well, it wouldn't be an upgrade, it would be a sideward step. It's a different kind of mixer. The Zone 92 is an analog mixer. The V10 is a digital mixer. My thoughts are, again, you've got to have a very good reason. Do your research. Decide if you think it's going to improve your DJing. You know, you've already got a really, really fantastic mixer there, Abraham. So be sure while you're doing this stuff. This is from Jermaine. Oh, that's a good question. Are there stickers I can put on my jog wheels to stop my fingers from slipping? I'm learning to scratch on my SB3 and sometimes I feel like my fingers are slipping. I think it's probably that you're looking for answers to why your scratching isn't going the way you wish it would go by saying, is there something wrong with my gear, Jermaine? Because honestly, unless you've got particularly sweaty fingers, it's going to be fine. I'd rather keep a towel by my DJ booth, just wipe my hands, or talc. DJs often use talc. Because really, it's not a problem that any experienced scratch DJ will tell you they have. So you're probably doing, which is perfectly natural, saying, you know, I'm not getting the results I want, and the reason for that is something to do with my gear. You can scratch really, really well on your SB3. Those of you that know us and our output will know that we work with Jazzy Jeff, and Jazzy Jeff recently did a demo for us on the Little Pioneer DDJ Rev 1 controller, which is is very similar to the SB3, same kind of jog wheels. You know, Jeff wasn't saying, "Oh no, I need to do something to stop my fingers slipping here." And think about it: vinyl is just a slippy vinyl surface. It's not. There's nothing particularly non-slip about a piece of vinyl, which is what scratching is traditionally done on. So I'd say stick with it, Jermaine. It's probably not that's causing your issues. If you haven't got the Digital DJ Tips course, by the way, on scratching, I need to tell you about that because it's not just for you but for anyone. We have got a very, very popular course on scratching. Hit the DJ courses page over on Digital DJ Tips, scroll down to complete courses and take a look at scratching for controller DJs. It's the only scratch course that's designed specifically for DJs not using turntables. It's taught by Steve, who's a long-standing tutor here at Digital DJ Tips, and this is the place to learn how to scratch. It takes you from beginner to literally being good enough to DJ in competitions. And there you can see the very controller that you own, Jermaine, the DDJ SB3 being used in one of the lessons. So take a look at that, people. It's one of our most popular courses over on the site. Hello to Stuart, who's watching us in Dumfries, Scotland. To Jodie over there in New Jersey. Hello, Jodie. So this next live question is from Terence. What's your take on the Mackie Flex portable speaker? The Mackie Flex is one of those speakers that I have wanted to review for a little while, and we've never got round to doing it yet. This is the Mackie Flex. It's one of those speakers that is like the Bose L1 system, which is a subwoofer with this kind of like array speaker that goes on top. And what these speakers do is they set up, as you can see on the picture on the right, they set up with this pole. And what you get is all the bass is coming out the bottom, obviously, and this pole here is dispersing the audio a lot better than a standard speaker would. So you don't tend to get the very loud spots that you get with conventional speakers. It kind of pushes the audio around the room a bit more. It's more subtle. So for things like weddings and functions and lounge bars and shops when you might be asked to go and DJ, these can be better because you don't deafen the people who are stood very near the speakers in the same way that you do with traditional speakers. And so I think they're good for the right kind of things. If you're going to DJ a rave, you want big massive speakers pointing at the dance floor, and these are not quite so good. But yeah, I haven't tried the SRM Flex, but I have tried the Bose L1. The Bose L1 is very good. So yeah, I'd say take a look at them against the Bose L1 and decide which one you think is best. So the next live question is from, he says, scrolling down and finding one. Techno Beat. This sounds sacrilegious to DJs, but can you perform with pre-recorded mixes? Not just playing, but also mixing with it as if it were a huge mixed album in one track and mixing them as normal. I'm not really sure what you're asking there. Mixing with it as if it were a huge mixed album in one track and mixing them as normal. Well, if you've got a pre-recorded mix, you're just going to hit play on it, surely. I mean, that's fine. A lot of wedding DJs, for instance, will do that earlier on in the night. They'll play pre-recorded mixes and then they'll take over themselves. It all depends on the context. Putting a pre-recorded mix on and pretending you're DJing it, I would say, is overstepping the mark. Just depends on the context, honestly, Technobeat TV. But let's know a bit more. Isaac, who says, I love your content. Well, thank you for being here, Isaac. Quick question. What's the microphone audio quality like on the Prime Go? It's going to depend on the microphone you use, of course, but as long as you've got a decent microphone. The Prime Go, this is a Shure SM58, by the way. I've owned this for decades. This is the kind of microphone I would recommend for anyone. It's fine. I've DJed on the Prime Go is the tiny little DJ controller from Den & DJ that's standalone. And I've DJed on that an awful lot, and I found the mic to be absolutely fine. Jay says, I've got some acapellas that are not very loud. I tried amplifying them in Audacity, but it didn't seem to make much of a difference. What else can I do? I want to boost the whole acapella for live mashups. You are not making it loud enough in Audacity, frankly, because you ought to be able to get an acapella really loud in any wave editing software. So for those of you that don't know what Audacity is, this is a little tip. This will be worth your being on this webinar alone if you don't know this. Audacity is a free, open source, cross-platform wave editor, audio editor. You can basically open audio in it. You can chop it, change it, edit it. We've prepared and mastered whole mixtapes on Audacity. In fact, we've got courses that teach you how to do that. But this is free software. You should have this on your computer. And what you can do with it is upload a piece of audio and you can make it louder. One of the things you can do is hit the effects control and make it louder. There's a couple of ways you can do that. You can use the amplify function in the software, which you can say, make this whole thing 10 decibels louder, or you can use something called normalize. And normalize will look at a piece of audio and it will say, what's the loudest piece of audio in this whole audio clip? And it will say, okay, if I increase the loudest piece to 0 dB, which is the loudest you can get digital audio without it distorting, how much do I have to turn it up to do that? And it might say I have to turn it up by 50%. So it'll do that and it'll turn the rest of the file up by 50% as well. It's literally like turning the volume up. You're not changing the anything about that file other than making it louder. And that is the loudest version of that file that it's possible to have without distortion. And that 9 times out of 10 will give you a really nice loud, in this instance, a cappella. The times it won't give you that is if there's something wrong with that audio file, like it could be a click, or it could be a bit of distortion, or it could be just one note that for some reason is really, really loud when the rest of the file isn't. Because what normalize will do, the auto amplify function, will say, okay, I've got this loud clip that's already at 0 dB, which is as loud as you can get without distorting. And so I can't do anything with this file. I can't really turn it up. And that could be what's happening to you, Jay. Could be that your files are not, they've got something wrong with them that's causing that. So in that instance, have a visual look through the file, find the loudest bit. And if it's something you don't want, you can turn that bit down. in the software, you can literally highlight that bit and say, make this bit quieter. There's loads of other ways you can do that as well to make sure that there's not some spurious little part of your audio that's stopping Normalize doing its job. Or just turn it up manually. Use the amplify function to turn it up manually and listen to the result. And until it distorts, it's okay. Keep turning it up, keep turning it up, keep turning it up. Until it distorts, it's okay. So that's another way that you can fix that. Right, so live questions, people. We've got another 20 minutes of these to go. I'm really enjoying them today, as I always enjoy them. It's always good to kick back at the end of the day and share my knowledge, hopefully, with you. So this is from Paul. This is quite interesting. Paul says, is Vocaloid working? I get a sorry, your request cannot be accepted. So we were talking about Acapella websites, weren't we? This is actually interesting. We're not sure what's going on with Acapella websites at the moment because, as I told you, acapellasforyou.com is down, or .co.uk. Which is interesting in itself, although it didn't surprise us because Acapellas for You has been struggling for a little while now, just in all kinds of areas. It's always looked like it was on its last legs kind of thing. So we reported about this on Digital DJ Tips, and we spotted that there was a bit of an issue with Vocaloid as well in that article. And I know the dudes over at Acapellas for You, so I spoke to them and said, what's going on? And they said, we can't tell you anything at the moment. So it could be that there are some cease and desist letters going out from the record companies about Acapella websites, which is the kind of thing you would expect to happen if the record labels are working with other companies to bring acapellas to DJs in a legal way, because they'd want to close down all the sites that are sharing them in this. It's a grey area, Acapella websites. And why do I say that? Well, technically, it's probably, in most territories, illegal to just share acapellas in the same way it's illegal to allow people to freely download copyrighted material of any type. But the thing with acapellas is, you don't get your 12-year-old brother or sister, downloading acapellas from a peer-to-peer website and hoarding them instead of buying them, right? Because you don't. They're only there as DJ tools. And so generally the DJs that download acapellas already own the track in question anyway, and they just want the acapella to do cool stuff with. So my ethical rule has always been, if you already own the track, downloading the acapella is fair game. But I'm sure the record labels don't agree with me on that. But that's why it's a grey area, and that's why I think they've always been tolerated. But of course, the issue with this is if the record labels want to make acapellas available to people in other ways, then they're probably going to close down the sites that are giving them away in this way. And that could be what's happening, but we're not sure. So we'll keep an eye on that. Thank you for sharing that with us. So hello to Charles, who says, I've just changed over to Denon Engine OS with a Mix Stream Pro to get away from using a laptop. I kind of got fed up with Windows. I had issues. We follow our heart here at Digital DJ Tips. We always have. We do what excites us. We talk about what excites us. And one of the things that's really exciting us generally at the moment is laptop-free anything. Laptop-free DJing, laptop-free production, because there's loads of reasons why. And a lot of us work with computers in our day jobs, right? And if we're working with computers in our day jobs, maybe we don't want to be working with computers in our hobbies, in our DJing, in our music production, and so on. We just carried an article over on the website, Getting Started Making Electronic Music Without a Computer. And we listed all the ways why you might want to do this. And a lot of these probably stand for DJing as well. It's convenient. Because you work with a computer the rest of the time. But another one, and this was suggested to me by one of the companies that make standalone gear, so you don't have to worry about the next iOS or Windows update, or indeed Mac OS update, breaking your setup. And that always happens, isn't it? You have an update that breaks your setup. So yeah, good reasons. Well, I hope you do well there, Charles. There's always pros and cons. You're always going to get more power with software, and you're going to get the latest features first with software because it's easier to implement software updates than it is to make new hardware. But there's a plus and minus to everything. And Andre is seeing one of the minuses. Rekordbox 6.6.1 causing major issues on MacBooks, or at least on your MacBook, Andre, freezing and audio dropouts. So yeah, I really hope you can solve that. But that's a good example of stuff you avoid by using standalone gear. Stephen, I've got an issue with Q monitoring problem with my Vestax VCI 3000. It's old kit. I can't hear my Q channel via my headphones. Is this a software or a hardware issue? I hope you can help. Ask on the Serato forum, because the VCI 300, as you know, is a very old DJ controller. I think it's probably 2010. The VCI 300. It was actually the very first digital DJ controller that I bought, and I loved it. And I lent it to a friend, and I kind of wished I had it. I wish I hadn't. Sometimes I wish I'd kept it. It's a wonderful little thing. It looks like this, and it just did the job. It just worked, and yeah, I always hold fond memories. I had no effects on it at all. I only had 3 cue points, and they were hidden up at the top here. But it was a lovely little unit. I don't understand why it would stop working. It just could be that it's not supported anymore by Serato, but the best thing to do is go and ask on the Serato forum about that. If it's not supported by Serato, you can always continue to run an older version of Serato, but if it's a hardware issue, I think it's going to be time to probably upgrade your hardware after 10 years there, Stephen. But yeah, I know why you're attached to it. It was a great little controller. How is the Uno synth desktop that you have in the background there, says Digital Nation. This is the Uno Synth Pro. It's a little synthesizer. I don't know yet. We haven't had time to plug it in. This is one of the things we're reviewing as part of our push this year to help DJs get started in music production. So we haven't had time to review this little baby. It certainly sounds lovely. I've plugged it in and played with the presets, and they sound absolutely amazing, but certainly as far as starting to use it to make sounds and so on, I've got no idea. We just haven't had time yet, but thank you for asking the question there. This is from Lee. I'm used to mixing records, but I got a controller with a record box. I mix 140, 138 BPM, but I can't get the tempo set the same from 138 to 140. Any help? Right, what's probably happening is that in your, let's just use the Vestax VCI 300. It just happens to be the image I've got open on the desktop because it's the same as any DJ controller. So what's probably happening is on a DJ controller, your pitch control here, this one here, as you can probably see if you can see the picture closely. Let me try and zoom in on the picture. You see it's got +6 and -6. That is the BPM reach of this. Now on a DJ turntable, it's probably set to ±8%, but that's still not very much. Now on DJ controllers, ironically not on this one, but on most DJ controllers, you can set this to be a much higher amount. That could be like +12, -12, even 50 or 100. And that means that you can slow it down till it's almost stopped, or speed it up till it's like double the speed it should be. But what you lose is the fine ability to move between 138 and 138.5 or whatever. So what might be happening for you there, Lee, is that you've got your record box pitch amount set to one of those high amounts. So just find the setting on your controller that will allow you to set that to ±6 or 8% or whatever, and then you should find you've got that fine control there. And also, if you're used to hearing the key going up and down, the pitch going up and down, it might be that you've got key lock set, or I don't know, I can't remember what they call it, master tempo I think they call it on record box. So it doesn't sound like you're slowing it down and speeding it up, but you actually are. Could be one of those two things. So use that advice, go and have a look, and come back to us if you need more help. Let's grab another question or two as we enter our last 10 minutes here. This is from Ivan. Has Mac OS updated? I had Spotify and Rekordbox crashing. Last day is unstable. I see there are also some others here with software issues. The rule with your OS is, well, to start with, Mac OS will never update unless you let it. So the rule is, 1, do not let your OS automatically update. Set it to manual and you decide when you update. 2, don't update to the latest OS until the new one's been announced. So in other words, the latest OS is Monterey for Mac. Don't update to it until they've announced whatever the next one is. Then update to it. Be the last person in the world to update, because at that point you can be sure it's going to work just fine with all your DJ software and so on, as long as you've been keeping your DJ software and your firmware and all that stuff up to date. So I don't know. Depends on what your particular setup is. The first thing to do is to check with the companies making the software that you are using that they work with the latest Mac OS or the one that you're running. So this is the same with Windows. With Mac, go to the little apple in the top corner of your screen and go to About This Mac, and it will tell you what OS you are running right there and then. And if it doesn't, like I'm still on Big Sur here on this computer, which I will be running quite happily for the next few months, and then I'll upgrade to the next one after that. You know, I'm 1 or 2 behind, but I've got too much software on here that will likely break if I upgrade to the latest one. So be very conservative in your upgrades, Ivan, and that should help. Treyo says the new Wolf Mix is very good. That's great, but I've got no idea what Wolf Mix is. Have you, people? When I Google Wolf Mix, I just get some cross-breed dogs. So, DMX lighting controllers. I know what this is about. You're all talking about lighting. And this is what Wolf Mix is. It's a controller for lighting. Yeah, I know you've had a conversation going on the channel about ways of controlling your MIDI lighting equipment, and some of you have been talking about something called Sound Switch, which is a system that we have got to come up with some coverage for. We haven't done it recently. This is a DMX controller, I do believe, although I'm not sure. It's not something that we have covered yet. Maybe we should, but it's definitely a DMX controller. I can see that. So DMX is a little bit like MIDI. So those of you that know what MIDI is, it's the way of plugging in a keyboard like one of these. This has got a MIDI socket on the back of it. It's a way of plugging in this to a sequencer or a computer or a sampler, and them all talking to each other and sharing musical information. And with lighting units, you have something called DMX that does exactly the same thing. You plug all your lighting units together with a controller like the one that they've got here, and then you can control everything from one place. And so DMX is one way of controlling lighting, and this Wolf Mix is a way of doing it with a piece of hardware. It looks like quite a nice piece of hardware as well. So Andrew says, is the free copy of the book a self PDF download or the actual book? Okay, so we were talking earlier about when you join Digital DJ Tips as a free member by going to digitaldjtips.com/join, we give you a copy of the book. It's a PDF download. We give you a PDF, the PDF that this is printed from. A little disclaimer or a little reveal if you didn't know the way this works nowadays. When you order this from Amazon, you don't get one of a big pile of books that are sat around at Amazon. They just print a copy and they send it to you. They print this copy from a PDF, and that is what we give you when you join Digital DJ Tips. So you're getting the exact PDF that you would get a printed version of if you went and ordered the book from Amazon. By the way, you can also get the audiobook on Kindle, on Audible, and on Apple iBooks and all that stuff as well. There's an audio version with me reading it. There's a printed version. It's on sale in bookshops and all that. But we give you the PDF when you join by going to that URL. So let's carry on with 1 or 2 more of our questions before I have to disappear at the top of the hour. You Don't Like My Music says, what's your general philosophy on EQing as a DJ? I use it sparingly and only subtractive. Well, you are a man after my heart. Let's cut to a DJ controller and talk about EQing. So when it comes to EQing, this is the way I think about EQing my mixes. Just pull this controller down here so we can see the EQs. So you got your high, mid and low EQs, right? When you are DJing, it's always best to take things out of the mix by turning it down than to put things into the mix by turning it up. Why is that? Well, when you're DJing, one of the first things you should do when you load a track onto a deck is adjust the gain or the level control at the top. Now, unfortunately, I haven't got a computer plugged into this controller at the moment, so I can't demo this, but I can tell you that if we had a track loaded on this deck and we had it turned down and we're just listening to it through our headphones, we would see the deck's meter here going up and down, and we'd use this to turn it so that this was just just below the red. We'd get it really nice and loud, so it's just below the red. Now what happens if you then in the mix turn these up? That's going to go into the red and distort. So much better to take away from the mix by turning down, and never go past 12 o'clock on these controls here. Or if you do, so if you've got a track that's quite muffled and you want to put a little bit of high frequency back into it, like maybe by turning the highs and maybe the mids up a bit, and you want to do that at the beginning, that's fine, but then adjust the gain so that you have a gain level here which is not going into the red, and then leave it like that for the duration of the mix. And so the other thing is, you see DJs doing this all the time, don't you? Like DJing like this, and you can't see me, but I'm jumping up and down in front of the cameras. A lot of the time, I'll tell you what they're doing. They're doing this. They're not even touching the knob. It's just one of those things DJs like to do. They like to look like they're doing something, whereas a lot of the time, give you a little piece of insider info here, because we watch and study all the videos of all the big DJs. Half the time, I'm telling you now, they're doing nothing. So I agree with you there. You don't like my music. Less is more. The big trick, and it's one of the things we cover, it's the final mix. I showed you the mixes earlier on here, the 5 mixes that every DJ needs to know and that you can do pretty easily. The big trick is the bass cut trick, the bass swap trick. And this is the one time I would say it's worth using your EQ quite obviously. And what you do here is, this is based around the fact that the bass part of your DJing, the doof, 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 and the bass line, are very, very dominating. You don't want 2 of those pumping away at the same time. So it's always best to have one or the other. So what a lot of DJs do, will mix. They'll mix in the new track with the bass down, and then at a good point they'll swap the bass by turning one bass all the way down and one bass up to 12 o'clock at the same time. It's a bass swap because you're swapping the bass from one deck to another, and it can be all you need for really, really clean beat mix transitions, following that little trick. So that's the one time I would say, use your EQ properly and very, a very big change. But yes, other than that, I think you're right. It's very, very subtle. So, Papa D, can you recommend a website where I can download free effects and samples, air horns, sirens, bells, etc.? I'm looking to augment the standard canned sounds that come with my DJ stuff. My all DJ software comes with free stuff. Right, here's a good little tip for you then, and this is probably going to be our last tip of the day. Go take a look at a website called Free Sound. Free Sound is a place where you can get all kinds of sounds. So look, for instance, say I was looking for a bass drop, a doo, which is a great sound to have, by the way. You type bass drop in at the top, and there you go. There's wicked bass drop, hard bass drop there. There's loads of them. There'll be hundreds of them here, and you can download these for free. So anything you want, you just said bells. All kinds of bells here. You can see what the waveform will look like. This is going to be one hit probably. So look, for all DJs and all producers, Free Sound is a really, really great resource. If you haven't got this bookmarked, go bookmark it now. Thank me later. People, I know there's so many questions I've not got around to. It's one of those things. We do this for free every Thursday for an hour, but we know we never get to everyone. Next time, get here early, ask your question first. My team will try and get to your questions afterwards, and if you're watching the replay, my team will try and get to your questions as well in the week. But do come and join Digital DJ Tips to get the free copy of the book. And if you are a member of one of our courses, if you're not a member of one of our courses, I recommend you go and take a look at our courses, because we're a DJ school and we work with all the biggest names in DJing. Go take a look at our courses, because one of the things that you get as a member of our school when you join any of our courses that we've got here is you get access to a private version of this hour that you've just had now, where it's a lot quieter, so you do get a much better chance of getting your questions answered, and you get to join a group where you get all kinds of help that we just can't offer in public, because we've got 240,000 people on this public platform if you're watching on YouTube, and nearly 500,000 if you're watching on Facebook. Go figure, right? So come join us. Listen, I've got to go now. Get good, get out there, make the moments, people. Do come and join us if you're not a member, and I'll see you on Tuesday for Tuesday Tips Live at 3 p.m. London, 10 a.m. Eastern next week, and then I'm back on Thursday next week, again 10 a.m. London, 10 a.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. London for this Thursday Q&A live. It's been great to be here with you today. I hope you found some value. Hit the likes, hit the loves, subscribe, do anything positive to tell us that you've enjoyed this. We do appreciate it. And I will see you next time. So until then, bye-bye.